How's it going, everybody? Today, I promised you guys a video last week when I unboxed Ray Striker, so I'm gonna provide it. Today, we're gonna be talking about my experience with the Beyblade franchise and the Beyblade franchise as a whole. Before we get started with the video, I just wanted to say about 85% of you guys are not subscribed. Now, for a channel my size, that's not that many. Actually, wait, it is. Because if you look at my Gamer Subs review, there's 2,700 views on that video. And out of that 2,700, you know how many are subscribed? This much. That's it. So, why don't you just go down there, click that red subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously because it helps my ego. And it helps us grow as a community. Also, while you're down there, be sure to hit that like button and ding that notification bell for every time we upload every Friday, unless I'm very, very, very depressed. And on with the video. So, at least for my experience with it, the Metal Fusion Saga, Fury, Masters, all three of those, and some of the Shogun Steel, but not really the English dub of it. I didn't really like the dub so much of Shogun Steel. I liked Zero G. I actually watched the Zero G subbed. In fact, that was my first ever subbed anime, which is very weird to say that Beyblade, of all things, is your first subbed anime, but here we are. It's mine. It is what it is. So I grew up in a time period of Beyblade, Bakugan, Pokemon, the big three in terms of anime to toys, games to toys, all of that. The toy marketing era of collecting, which I do still have some of my Pokemon cards from when I was a kid. I have a few of the Bakugan from when I was a kid and a few sealed ones that we may be looking at on the channel later in the future. Wink, wink. No promises really, but Beyblade has a relatively long history. You know, not the IP itself, Beyblade. It really didn't start until the late 90s. However, the tops and fighting system, quote unquote, that it's based off of dates back over 5,000 years. And if you really want to watch that, Crunchyroll just did a really good video on it. I watched it in its entirety. It was a lot of fun. And that was really what kind of sparked wanting to do Baypril as a whole, because I really enjoyed Beyblade growing up, and of course I'm going to enjoy it now. There were a lot of things that I wish I knew back then coming into it, like Beyblades are expensive now, minus the ones that I got for cheap on Facebook and eBay. Most of them are expensive. Like if you wanted to get sealed, like Metal Fusion era bays, they're like $35 to $40. If you want to get sealed to Karatomi, it's a lot cheaper, like $20, which is still expensive. These were only like $8 when they first came out in both America and Japan. I think Japan they were cheaper. I think they were only like $6 translated for the conversion. Here we got them for about $8. We're still getting them. We still have the burst system of bays, which I do have a few. I don't think they're as fun because it doesn't feel as impactful as like a Metal Saga bay, because the Metal Saga bays, you hear this clashing sound. And while yes, the burst bays do kind of date back to the original heavy metal system with our heavy metal system, the plastic generation of bays, where it was just plastic on plastic with the metal only there as a little weight. But with Metal Fight, that's literally what they were doing. They were fighting with the metal, and it was fucking awesome. I loved it. It was amazing. It was the coolest thing to fight your friends in the schoolyard, to bring people over to your house and launch a Beyblade and accidentally have it bounce out of the stadium and hit them in the balls. It was fun. It was like the coolest thing you could do as a kid, aside from Pokemon battling on the DS and Game Boy and all that. But this was tangible. This was actual physical things that you could challenge your friends to do, and it was a ton of fun. I just wish that the fun lasted for a long time. with Metal Fusion and the Metal Saga in general, it really came down to, well, this is dwindling out. How do we make it better? And at the time when Shogun Steel, I think, ended, Burst had already started in America, or in Japan. So they were already trying to transition the Burst series over into America, which, you know, good on them. It's fun and it's right. It's fun to bring kids into now because it's a lot less dangerous, because you're not having gigantic chunks of metal fight each other and potentially hurt yourself. Because I'm not going to say that I didn't hurt myself with like Flash Sagittario growing up, because in attack mode it's ovular, right? Like, it's completely dangerous. And I think that's fun. I think the fun of Beyblade is because it's dangerous. Like, obviously, you play a Pokemon game on your GBA or your DS, you're not trying to kill each other. But me and my friends thought we were in the anime. We thought we were fighting to the death. It was fun. I loved it. It was exhilarating to just hang out with your friends. I've said this already in this video, but it was just a lot of fun. With the whole Pegasus GT channel, I started it because of channels like Illinook and Beyblade Geeks just having fun playing Beyblades. And they had a lot better equipment than me. They had iPhones. I had a webcam that recorded in like 480p that I didn't understand lighting. I didn't understand YouTube. Like, now I understand it a lot more than I did back then. But still, I had fun doing it. I would have my friends come over into my basement, which is where I lived, and play Beyblades, and we would record them. There would be no audio because we were children, but we had fun. That was how we had fun. If it wasn't video games, we were playing Beyblade. And like I said, I wish that fun stayed. Now, yes, I will still sit down in my floor and play Beyblade now as a almost 20-year-old. You don't have people that come over, in their 20s. When you hang out with your friends, you're not really thinking about Beyblade, right? Because, yeah, it's a kid's toy. It was a kid's toy. Yes, there are people like the Beyblade Geeks still around, still making really good, really high production YouTube videos about Beyblade. But my favorite era of Beyblade, obviously, Metal, Saga, Fusion through 0G, that isn't really what people are doing anymore. There are still some little minute communities, like Itris 2 a while back did just a series of quick fight battles between the Metal Saga bays. Now it is primarily just the Burst bays, which I'm not going to say that they're bad, because they're not. Like, it's fun for what it is, but I have a Beyblade from the Burst Saga that when you launch it, it bursts itself. It bursts itself. I just don't get it. Like, why would you design a Beyblade that way? It doesn't make sense. Reeling back into the fact that it is a kids game anime to toys, they've all dipped in quality. Bakugan dipped in quality. They feel like shit. Beyblade, obviously they had to dip in quality. Hasbro doesn't make that much money with Beyblade. I'm sorry to say it. Hasbro and Spin Master don't make much money. C'est la vie. I still have fun. That was the point of this video. The point of this video was for me to tell you guys about my experience with Beyblade, not really bitch about how Beyblade has turned into, which I have, kind of. And I'm gonna do some more, because that was very rambly. I'm gonna rehash it from the beginning. When I was a kid, this is what me and my friends did. And for a while, up until probably 2015, 2016, when Burst actually started hitting the market here in America, that's what I did. I still had the YouTube channel up and running, and then I stopped because of that. But I still had fun doing it. And then Burst hit, and I just didn't really... it wasn't that I had outgrown it, but there was a part of me that just didn't feel the same with the Burst bays because they weren't as cool. Like, Storm Pegasus is fucking leagues cooler than Valtryek or Valkyrie or whatever his name is. Galaxy Pegasus is still probably the most beautiful Beyblade to ever grace this earth. Every single thing about it is phenomenally gorgeous. I love it with all of my heart. And I literally can remember 2 Burst Beyblade names. Spriggan and Valtryek. And that's just because they were the first 2. Am I happy that the Takara Tomy releases for the 10th anniversary of Metal's Fight and Metal Fight Explosion got burst releases? Yes, that's awesome. That's actually really cool that they remade 5 or 6 of each series into burst form. When will we get those in America? Probably never. We barely got the original system burst remakes, and even then they were odd colors. I bought one. It didn't fit on my launcher, so I never got to use it. The channel that I made back then, if it weren't for Pegasus GT and making Beyblade videos back then, I don't think I would have ever made it here, making Beyblade videos or videos in general about things that I thoroughly enjoy to you guys, because I wouldn't know how. Well, yes, you did horrible lighting setups, horrible cameras, but it was still the passion that was there that has stayed with me ever since then. If it weren't for recording with a webcam, playing with fighting tops in my grandfather's basement, I wouldn't be here standing in front of you guys talking about those spinning fighting tops and leagues and years to come with other videos. And I think that's a great way to finish off this whole tangent of a video. I'm thankful for where Beyblade has taken me and what it's done with me and my channel and my creative outlook as a whole, because all the bullshit aside, all the crappy burst Beyblades or me deciding to donate all of my Beyblades from when I was a kid and having to slowly rebuild it, I wouldn't be where I am without them. And that's a very weird thing to say, because I'm just an almost 20-year-old sitting in front of a camera, in front of a few lights, talking about random bullshit on the internet. That's what I like. It's a lot of fun, and I really hope that videos like mine, like the Pokemon Red Nuzlocke, or just me sitting and talking and rambling about Beyblade as a whole, influences at least one person to go out and do this for themselves and do what they enjoy. And with all that being said, all the bullshit aside, thank you guys so much for watching. Links to everyone that I've mentioned is in the video description. Links to Pegasus GT is also in the description. I don't know why you want to check it out. It gains it. It's very weird. It has a higher sub gain than this channel sometimes. I haven't uploaded in 5 years. What's wrong with you?